Hello and welcome. Today we're digging into a pretty intense question. How far can a person be pushed before they completely break and become someone else? That's really the heart of what we're exploring in Samrat Mitra's novel, The Incidental Jihadi.
So this is a story all about that fracture. We watch how one man, a successful geological consultant from London named Len Berkowitz, gets completely reforged in the fires of war. He goes from being this ambitious husband to Naim Nasser, a rebel soldier, a fugitive, a man whose entire world has been boiled down to just one thing: survival.
So you gotta ask, how does a life unravel that completely? Well, it all starts somewhere surprisingly normal. We meet Len, who's a top consultant for a massive oil company, Innofuel. He's living this comfortable life in London with his wife Sarah, and he's just, looking forward to settling into a nice, quiet desk job.
But of course, there's always one last thing, right? His mentor, Eric, comes in with this temporary assignment. Just 3 months, he says. Now, it's in a disputed territory, so it's a tough sell, but Eric frames it as the very last thing Len needs to do before he gets that comfortable desk job for good. It's a total corporate pressure play. You know the type. And the reason for all this pressure? Well, it boils down to one absolutely staggering number: $50 billion. That's what this newly discovered oil reserve is worth. Now, a find like that, it's not just about profit. It literally paints a giant target on your back. And suddenly, Len and Sarah are right in the middle of a geopolitical tinderbox, just waiting for a spark. And, well, that spark comes. The site is attacked by Syrian tanks, and everything just descends into chaos. Their security detail, the soldiers who are supposed to protect them, they make a cold, hard choice. Len and Sarah, they're expendable. So they're just abandoned, left in the desert with some Bedouin nomads, with nowhere to go but this one remote village, Katma.
And you have to understand, this is more than just a trip through the desert. This is the point of no return. This is where Len Berkowitz, the consultant from London, really begins to fade away. And out of the ashes of that old life, someone new starts to emerge: Naim Nasser.
So the story follows them for 5 incredibly long years in this village. And for a while, they actually build a new life there. They learn to fit in, they have a son, Omar. The village elder, Mahmoud, even gives Len a new name, Naim. And that name, it's not just a name, it's a new role. He goes from being a corporate guy to a soldier, fighting to protect his new home. But this fragile piece they've found, it's just completely destroyed. A brutal army general named Salem storms the village. His men murder and pillage, and they take the women hostage, including Sarah. And that one moment, watching his wife get taken, it seals the deal. The transformation is complete. He's not Len anymore. He's Naim, a father with one single burning mission: get his family back.
Now, one of the things that makes this book so powerful is how it jumps between two totally different worlds. On one hand, you have Naim's brutal, dirty, on-the-ground fight for survival. And on the other, we cut to these clean, sterile boardrooms where the powerful men who started this whole mess are just playing games with people's lives.
Remember Eric, Len's old mentor? Well, he's CEO of Innofuels now. And for him, this war, it's not a tragedy. It's great for business. He literally says that instability in the Middle East is what keeps oil prices high and their profits rolling in. The fact that people like Naim are suffering, that's just a rounding error on a spreadsheet to him.
Meanwhile, back in London, you've got these MI5 agents, Sam and Dave, and they're tracking this whole thing. But to them, Naim isn't a person. He's just the British national. He's a political headache they need to manage. So you see these 3 completely different perspectives, right? For Naim, it's life or death. For Eric, it's all about profit. And for MI5, it's about managing national security. It's one man's tragedy, seen through 3 totally different, cold lenses. So Naim's quest to find Sarah, it's a descent. It pulls him deeper and deeper into the absolute worst parts of the war. And the book does not shy away from showing you just how brutal it is. It's completely unflinching. The book describes scenes like the massacre at the Kabara market in really graphic detail. And it's meant to be shocking. This isn't the sanitized version you see on the news. It's meant to ground you in the raw, terrifying reality of what Naim is up against. A world where this kind of brutality has become chillingly normal. But even in all this darkness, Naim finds a glimmer of hope. He connects with another soldier, a guy named Ahmed,
and they form this incredible bond. They're like brothers. But then, that one good thing is ripped away from him by a betrayal from their own commander. Ahmed is killed, and just like that, Naeem is completely alone again.
Everything he's been through, every fight, every loss, it all leads to this one moment. A final, desperate rescue mission at a fortress. This is it. He finally confronts General Salem, the man responsible for everything, the man who has his family.
But the reunion he's been fighting for, it's not a reunion. It's a complete nightmare. He finds his son Omar, who's only 5 years old, and the boy has been totally brainwashed. He looks at his own father and doesn't see a rescuer. He sees an enemy, an infidel, and he tells Naeem that his real teacher is Salem. And then, in just an unbelievable act of cruelty, Salem tests the boy's loyalty. He orders 5-year-old Omar to take a sword and chop off his own father's hand. It's pure psychological horror. It's this awful moment that shows you how the poison of this war has infected even the children. Right when you think all hope is gone, bam, Naeem's allies launch their attack. It's this perfectly planned ambush, a lure, a distraction, RPGs, all designed to create a window of pure chaos for Naeem to grab Umar and get out of there.
And it works. The ambush is a success. Salem is killed, and Naheem has his son back. You think, okay, maybe there's a good ending after all. But no. The novel saves its most gut-wrenching twist for last. Naheem gets one final piece of news from Sarah.
Sarah tells him she can't leave. She's pregnant. It was a child she conceived just to survive, to keep herself and Omar alive while they were prisoners. And now, she can't risk the dangerous escape. For the child in her womb, it would be murder.
So the story just shatters. Naeem, or Len as he's now called again, is rescued by a British Special Forces team. He has his traumatized son, but he's forced to leave Sarah behind. And the fallout just spreads. Back in London, Eric gets his own wife killed to cover his tracks. The MI5 agents who helped, fired. And Len is left with his son, this impossible story, and a promise to himself that he will go back for Sarah.
So, The Incidental Jihadi is obviously far more than a simple war story. It's a really deep look at identity, survival, and the very real human price of these conflicts we usually only see on the news. It leaves you with this really tough, lingering question, a question the novel asks through all its pain and hope. When you're pushed to the absolute limit, what does it take not just to survive, but to hold on to the person you once were?